Where's Kenya? We're gonna talk about where Kenya is in just a minute, child. Kenya is in Canada, by the way. Kenya is in Canada. Okay. Y'all like this video, please, and thank you. Like this video. Let me go over here to Kenya page, see what she doing. Hold on. Let me see what Kenya is doing. So Kenya posted these new pictures of herself with her remember when Kenya said she don't do 4C hair at the Kenya Moore hair spa? Well, I guess now that the Kenya Moore hair spa has been evicted, she'll wear her 4C wig. Okay, so Kenya got her 4C wig on. Okay, and she did a photo shoot. I don't know how long ago she did this photo shoot. It must have been a while ago because, like I said, she's in Canada right now working. Okay, so salute to um to Kenya. Okay, she looks amazing. She does look amazing. Somebody said she had new boobs. I don't know. But Kenya don't like folks see hair, but she trying to prove it. Kenya getting her black girl magic back on. Um, but I also had a snippet of Kenya. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Is this it? Yeah, she's in British Columbia. Let me see. Hold on. Let me send it to myself. Like this video, please, and thank you. Like this video. I don't need all these tweets. I just need that video. Okay. Yes, she does. Yes, I think she's working on a Hallmark film. I said, you know what? I said that, okay? Because she is I had to look and see like what was filming in that area. And apparently it's either a Hallmark film or a Lifetime movie. Okay. So here is Kenya. Hold on. Kenya says she is first on the call sheet, child. And I'm like, okay, Kenya first on the call sheet. But she also posted this from her hotel room.
This every morning. I get a view of the sunrise, the lake, these beautiful mountains, and I get the sunset as
So, like I said before, Kenya is in. I'm gonna tell you where she's at, which is so random. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you where she's at. She is in. She is in Kelowna, British Columbia. Okay, Kelowna, British Columbia, and according to the productions things that I have, the sources that I have, that is a location for Hallmark films and Lifetime movies and things like that. So perhaps that is what she's filming. I don't know the exact film that she's filming, but congratulations to Kenya for getting a job. Okay. Unfortunately, her hair spa is closed. It says temporarily on Google, and I think her website is still open. Hold on, which is interesting. Her website, is she still taking appointments? The other day she was still taking appointments. Let me go see. Lord, not Kenya still taking appointments on the website, and we know it's closed. Hold on. Let me go see. Book now, honey. Let me see. Child, Kenya still taking y'all money. Kenya is still taking y'all money. Oh my God. Hold on. Uh-uh. Kenya is still. Oh Lord, she is still booking it and taking deposits. Child. And she still got the thing up here, not for very coarse or 4C hair. Okay. Let me book. Let me see. Yup. You can book it, honey. She got a birthday sale going on and everything. And it's not even open. Child, y'all told me to leave Kenya alone. I'm gonna leave Kenya alone. But in leaving Kenya alone, let me tell you this. Kenya's attorney has filed a motion to withdraw from her case. He said that Kenya has been notified that he is no longer her attorney. Um, in the meantime, I know a bunch of y'all think it was over because the landlord had evicted Kenya. Unfortunately, it is not over because, as I said before, the landlord has is going after their 80 some odd $1,000 in past due rent. They're also going after their attorney's fees. Um, and meanwhile, they have a hearing schedule. I believe it is in June. I don't have the exact date in my phone, but they have a hearing schedule in June. But Kenya gonna have to find an attorney before the end because, like I said, her attorney has filed his motion to withdraw. And I was looking at ChatGPT, like, why? I'm just asking ChatGPT everything. Like, why would an attorney withdraw in this way? Because what he submitted was, it said notice of filing. Hold on, I'll show it to y'all. Chat. Hold on. I will show it to y'all. Stop screen. Share screen. This is what he had filed. Comes now More Vision Media Inc. defendant in the above style action by and through their undersigned counsel hereby files this notice of filing notice of withdrawal from representation pursuant to da 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 da, thereby notifying all parties and the court that Hike Walker Jordan PC has served the attached notice of withdrawal of representation upon More Vision Media Inc. defendant and its principal Kenya Moore, respectfully, this 14th day of May. Paul Drzezinski, that was her attorney. He filed this motion, this notice to withdraw. Now, there's also a hearing, like I said, scheduled for the first or second week in June where she won't have an attorney. I don't know if they're going to reschedule it, if they're going to wait for her to get other representation. But I asked ChatGPT, why would an attorney withdraw in this way? And I'm not an attorney, so I wanted to know. Okay. And they were saying that, of course, the attorney is not going to normally state a reason why, but there's some things in the notice that kind of gives you a hint. One of the things in the notice is saying that he gave Kenya Moore and More Vision Media notice that he was withdrawing. So that in itself is saying that Kenya did not fire him. It's saying that he is firing himself. Okay. Um, Sometimes it is because of irreconcilable differences. It could be because listen, the client didn't pay unpaid legal fees, disagreement over the strategy, communication breakdown, client refusing legal advice, conflict issues that develop during representation, the case becoming untenable, unwinnable, unable, and or simply, them not being in the proper space to represent her. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't know why, but it's more serious than, Kenya fired her attorney. It's looking like the attorney decided to withdraw from the case because Kenya wasn't listening. And I don't know if y'all recall when Kenya did that last live in her hair spa when she had them two guys behind her that was, throwing shade and doing all that stuff. Um she was saying stuff that wasn't true. She was saying that she wasn't gonna get evicted. She was saying that, she withheld the rent and why she withheld the rent. And she was saying all those things. And she was saying that she was gonna pay into the court. And if you recall, her attorney actually told the judge and agreed with the judge that Kenya would pay the past due rent into the court so that she could argue her position of the landlord owed her money. Kenya did not pay anything into the court. Okay. This has nothing to do with paying to the landlord. This was to pay into the court. The court was going to hold the past due rent until she could argue about, what she says they owed. And so since she did not pay it into the court, she technically lost her countersuit. So, which is interesting because when she got evicted, Kenya posted that little quote and said, I can't wait to have my day in court. Well, you already had your day in court, Kenya. You already had your day in court. Now you don't have no attorney and they still suing you for the money that you owe. So what's gonna happen now? So yeah, apparently, she wasn't accepting legal advice. She wasn't doing what the attorney said do. She was doing what she wanted to do. And the attorney said, all right, see you later. Find you somebody else to represent you. Or maybe she didn't pay him. Hell, she didn't pay the rent. She probably didn't pay him either. Okay. But I just wanted to give y'all that brief little update about Kenya Moore Hair Spa and that situation over there. It is completely empty. Right, lawyer Tasha. That's what I was saying. She probably didn't pay the attorney. She couldn't pay the rent. She didn't pay the attorney, and now she over there, in Canada working on a Lifetime movie. Okay, a Hallmark film or something to that effect. But shout out to Kenya because the phoenix will rise from the ashes. Everything is not the end. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you got to lose to win again, like Fantasia says. So my thing is, it was her pride that got her in this situation in the first place. It was her showing those explicit pictures in her hair spa during the grand opening that made her lose her job, and it was her pride after that that prevented her from even apologizing and accepting responsibility. And so here we are 2-3 years later, and it is what it is. You said at least it ain't Tubi. Well, I don't know, it might end up on Tubi. Listen, it has yet to be seen yet where the film will end up. You said Kenya can be delusional. I don't care. Just stay away from RHOA so I'll never have to see her again. Child. I don't know. Look, listen, to be completely honest, I might want to see Kenya on there over Kay What's the Face at this point, because I'm tired of hearing about Kay What's the Face leaky butt, okay, and her stanky vagina. At least Kenya's butt wasn't leaking, okay. At least Kenya's silicone implants wasn't leaving her in wet spots on the sofa. I'm just saying, can you imagine when they go to the reunion, who wants to sit next to Kay What's the Face, because they might end up with a wet spot on their dress, child. But I'm digressing. I am digressing. Let's see. You said Kenya Moore lost her job on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I told y'all that. Y'all didn't believe me. Attorneys will withdraw because of lack of payment and lack of cooperation from the cooperation. Okay. Kamorda is across the street. You said, where is Nene? Over there minding her business. Nene is over there minding her business. Okay. Moving on.